Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Baker Take, first episode of 2025, which is crazy. We have Miss Pam Troop here with us today, so it should be a fun episode. Hi, ladies.
Hello. Look who's in the house. Pam's in the house.
I'm in the house. In the house. Mama Troop.
And look, we're all decked out in hearts today.
We're festive.
Wasn't told I was supposed to wear today.
Well, it was a last minute decision, actually, but twofold. One, obviously, Valentine's Day is coming up on Friday, which I'm sure is why Pam's in her hearts. And then also the American Heart Association Go Red for Women just occurred the other day, where everybody was like wearing red in recognition of cardiovascular disease in women. So I think it's a really important issue. And I didn't realize, but it actually, cardiovascular disease kills more women than cancer, all the different types of cancers combined. So yeah, it's the number one killer. And then I thought this was odd too, because usually you think of heart disease as being like an older person's issue, but it says among females 20 years and older, 45% are living with some sort of form of cardiovascular disease already. Wow. So, yeah. And then the other thing I heard was that it was the number one killer of new moms, accounts for over 1/3 of maternal deaths.
I've never even heard of that.
I had no idea. And then Black women have some of the highest maternal mortality rates.
Do that.
Yeah. So I know your cousin Presley, I don't know if you remembered this, but Quimby had like a stroke when she was giving birth.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, and she was a young girl at the time, and it was a very tough recovery from that. But yeah, I had no idea that that's like not that uncommon.
No, I didn't know that either.
No. So anyway, that was partly why I wore my red hearts today. I'm not usually a heart person, as you know. It takes a lot for me to dress in something kind of, I don't know, cutesy or feminine. Yeah, right. I'm usually a black or gray kind of person. So
Pam was just being festive.
Pam always looks festive. She always looks good. Yes, yes. So that I just wanted to mention that right off the bat, and then let's roll into talking about the Super Bowl, since that just occurred. Presley, did you caught that in Syracuse?
I did. I missed the national anthem. I ever since we stopped having cable TV, I can never find anything on TV ever, no matter on any of the streaming. I know we have all these different streaming things. It's like the one channel that thing won't have.
I know.
And it's on Paramount, or it's on Tubi or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I was getting really frustrated, and I had a lot of homework to do. So I just kind of gave up until Dad called me and then
figured out how to find it on your.
Told me how to get it off. Yeah.
No, I know. I think that's a valid beef, I guess, about streaming services, because I think it's hard to find just normal programming anymore. Or if you're like, you have to search like for different things, and then all of a sudden it's like one of the streaming services bought rights to that particular game. It might not be the Super Bowl, but it might be like one other game or a playoff game. And you think you got it down to where you're going to watch it. And then when you go to watch it, you're like, oh, wait, it's on whatever. And you have to kind of switch gears and try to figure out how to get it on. You know how challenging that is for us. Imagine my parents who are in their 80s.
Exactly.
Because my dad gets so frustrated. He's like, gosh.
Forget it. I just won't watch it.
Yeah.
Forget it. Yeah.
I don't think he's ever said, gosh darn it, in his entire life.
I was trying to be nice for Pam.
Gosh, please.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Gosh darn it.
Damn, gosh, you darn it.
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
No, that's not Dad. Dad is definitely, the harsher of the saying. Anyway, so pregame, it was I thought the pregame entertainment was great. It had Harry Connick Jr. on there, and John, is it Baptiste? Mm-hmm. Is that how you say it? He was amazing. He's such a great, both of those guys are great artists anyway. And they tried to do, which I thought was totally appropriate, do like the New Orleans themed entertainers, people who are from that area. And then Lady Gaga did Hold My Hand, and she did an amazing, amazing job. I don't think she's from there. I think she's from New York, but but that was all good. I didn't like the halftime show at all.
Okay. It's so funny because no one over 30 liked it, but that's okay. it's like every parent had the same reaction to it where they're like, this isn't music. This guy's not big enough to do the Super Bowl. And it's like all the same like 4 phrases from everybody's. But I mean, people my age liked it. But I did some background on Kendrick because the main thing that came out of it was he has a really big beef with Drake. Did you catch that?
Yeah. And a lot of the song was about that.
That whole song is a diss track to Drake.
Yeah.
And won record and song of the year at the Grammys like 2 weeks ago.
Wow. Oh, that's the song that, I didn't even realize that.
And it's only like the only other rap song that's done that was This Is America by Childish Gambino, which is like another rapper. But no, I didn't realize because I knew they like had like a feud, but I'd kind of thought like there was a rumor that he was going to bring Drake out and they were like at the halftime show and they were going to like quash the feud.
Yeah.
But no, this is going on for 10 years.
Oh my gosh.
And so it's not fake. It's like not for the publicity. It's they actually dislike each other because
but I mean like to me, it seems like really petty to use the Super Bowl stage to air that.
I mean, the song's also the song of the year.
I get it. I get it. But I guess my thing about him performing as well was just that, and like you said, it's generational thing. I understand that he's popular with younger crowds, but traditionally when you have somebody perform halftime show at the Super Bowl, it's somebody who crosses generational boundaries and somebody who's a megastar. So to me,
I get that.
Yeah, to me, I'm like, I don't think he reaches that caliber of celebrityism, and I don't think he was that good for a generational cross to where everybody enjoyed it. And that's what the Super Bowl to me is supposed to be about.
Well, even Presley admitted anybody under 30 didn't like it or didn't really, like
I did laugh at the funniest comment that I did get from somebody because I had friends who were texting me to it, during the Super Bowl, and some of them were like, oh my gosh, what is this? Or this is the worst show ever. But then Michaeline, who's been on the show before, texted me from LA and she said he moves like a girl. I'm like, what?
Gosh, I didn't notice that. I pick up on
jeans. That. I want those jeans.
And I said he's wearing mom jeans, and then I sent her an emoji of a mom jean like dancing, like just from the butt.
Gosh,
and I was like, that just made me laugh.
I like the jeans. They were Celine unisex jeans.
Oh my gosh,
$1,200.
Yeah, I don't care how much they were. They were ugly.
I liked him. I like the good flare jean, but no, I didn't mind his outfit. I liked the dancers. I agree. I think his music anyway is a very specific taste.
Exactly. And I don't even think it's that generational for you. I mean, I know a lot of young people that don't even like him.
I also think it's really, really hard to sing rap live well. I mean, that's just I think it's in that kind of venue too, where you've got all the open massive stadium. I just think it's hard to make that sound right.
I was surprised when he got it actually, because I agree. I think he's not mainstream enough.
Yeah. No, that was my point.
Because a lot of his songs are mainstream, but like you're not like there's not a lot of diehard Kendrick people that want to hear a whole concert.
Well, I look back on like Prince, when he performed, and Paul McCartney and Lady Gaga, and I mean, just like these mega stars that performed that just like blew it out of the house, the roof off the house. I mean, everybody was just going crazy. It was so good. In fact, that's why we went and saw Paul McCartney in concert, was because of the Super Bowl performance. We booked tickets to see him. And then it's like he didn't even sing any of his old songs at the concert. And that's what we were looking forward to. And he was like singing all these folk songs that nobody even ever heard of. And he was putting his guitar over his head and pulling up his pants. And he looked like he was ancient. And I was like, what is this? You know? Yeah. But it wasn't like the Paul McCartney who rocked the house at the stadium. True. So that was disappointing. But did you like any of the commercials?
I really didn't watch a ton of the commercials.
You didn't watch a ton of them? You did?
I didn't like
I saw some of them.
Which ones did you like?
I like the Budweiser, the little baby Budweiser.
Yeah, the little baby Clydesdale.
The little Clydesdale.
That
was so cute. He was so sweet.
Well, obviously Budweiser's getting back to their traditional marketing because
mainstream.
Mainstream marketing because of what happened before with them venturing off into some unknown territory with the trans thing.
Every Bud Light commercial I see looks like Republican propaganda, which I find hilarious.
Well, it's because that's who their audience is mainly.
I know, but it's like it took such a turn. It's like it'll be like cowboys in a dive bar.
Oh yeah,
or like
well, that's what I'm saying. They almost went back.
Kids at a frat party or tailgate, and you're like, the 180 is insane.
Well, that's because though you weren't around, you were younger when they did that kind of marketing before, because that's what their whole traditional marketing was based on, was that cowboy, conservative family, Clydesdales, all
family
that stuff, family values, and so it's funny because when they had that big blow up and their stock plummeted and all that kind of stuff, they obviously had this big meeting and said, let's go back to 101, marketing 101 for our company. And that's what they did. They went back to what they used to do ages ago.
Yeah.
So they went back far to get that. I liked the Lay's commercial as well of the little girl growing the potato. Did you see that?
I didn't see that one.
That was very cute.
The seal one.
Oh my gosh.
Killed me. I laughed hysterically. I thought I was going to die.
The one where the man was the seal?
I laughed, but it was so disturbing that I couldn't look. To me, it was so gross and ugly. It was ugly. It was.
Did you see the Tubi commercial with where everybody was born with like a hat for a head?
Yes.
Oh, I saw that too. I didn't like that. That was creepy. That was creepy.
I didn't like that at all.
Disturbing to me.
Yeah.
Disturbing.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
But the seal, when Seal, the singer Seal, was a seal, and his head was all like morphed into a seal or a sea lion, and then and it was for Mountain Dew. Oh my gosh,
it was hilarious.
And I didn't like the sloth commercial either for Coors Light.
Yeah, I didn't quite get the.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that very well.
Made me laugh, but I didn't get it.
Yeah. So anyway,
Ben Affleck was in the Dunkin' commercial again.
Yeah, he does a lot of commercials with Dunkin', and they had a good Tom Brady one running on Duracell batteries. I thought was kind of cute.
I didn't see that.
That was good. And then they had the Harry Met Sally takeoff of the scene.
I saw that.
Yeah, you saw that one? That was where she discovers Hellman's, I think, mayonnaise or something.
On her sandwich.
Yeah, that was okay.
Steve Sweeney was in that one too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I'll have what she's having.
Yeah.
I like her.
So the other thing that I thought that was interesting was the crowd booing Taylor Swift, not necessarily because it happened, because I think that was partly just Philadelphia fans booing her, which her connection with Kelsey and KC. I don't think it was necessarily booing Taylor Swift. You know what I mean?
I don't think it was. I think it was the connection.
Just booing the connection.
Right.
And
they just associated her with the Chiefs and went boo.
Yeah, boo. She's for the Chiefs, that kind of thing. But her face was really priceless, because I don't think she's ever been booed in her life. And they had a lip reader, and they said, well, to determine what she said. And she said, "Come, what's going on here?" And I said, "That's a totally valid response."
It is. That's not a bad response.
You know why? Because she holds the attendance record at that stadium.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's even more.
And she's from Philly.
Yeah.
So she didn't even have a stitch of red on at that game, and she's worn red to every other game.
She should have been like half and half.
Yeah.
But then they cheered, of course, when President Trump was saluting and he came on the big screen. So I thought that was kind of cool. Did you know he was the first sitting president ever to attend the big game?
I didn't know that.
Doesn't that seem odd?
It does seem very odd.
Like, why would you not, as a president, not attend the Super Bowl?
Seems odd.
But I also think that Trump values, he recognizes the value of sports way more than some of the other presidents might. And the power of sports and recognition of sports and all.
Well, because I think a lot of people don't recognize how intertwined politics are with sports.
Absolutely. And we've always talked about that.
Yeah. And he recognizes the value of entertainment as a tool, and a lot of people don't.
Yeah, and the fact that he also just understands the media, how to get free media.
It's a marketing. That was a marketing thing.
Yeah,
that was a great marketing tool
to be shown there and in that light and saluting and
Right.
You can't beat that. I can't buy that, or if you can, it's worth way more than most people can afford for sure. So that was kind of interesting, and then Yeah, I mean, I that was the worst game ever.
Mahomes looked terrible. He looked like he never played football.
I know.
I guess the
He
new
knew
babies
it,
got
too.
him tired. I don't know, but it was.
Oh.
I've never seen him play like that ever.
No.
Oh, I've never either. And I mean,
Yeah.
part of it was the line was playing terrible. But
Well, I mean, the Eagles were good. They're good, and so that a great team
His
makes
line though was
a
not
team look
protecting him at
worse.
all.
No,
You know, and he was getting hammered.
Yeah.
He got sacked so many times and so much
he got
pressure on him.
smacked in the face during one time he fumbled it, and the guy that was hitting him just literally hit him in the face like this.
Yeah, and the refs missed that.
I know that was definitely
Yeah.
face mask, but
Yeah. Anyway, so moving on, we didn't get to talk about this last time because we haven't had a podcast in a while. But speaking of President Trump, Pam and I went to the inauguration in D.C. and I have my inauguration cup today, which shows like Trump and Vance, one of my little souvenirs. And there were a lot of souvenirs to be had, except for the day after when we couldn't find one thing on the street or anywhere else. Like one of my friends asked me to bring her something home kind of late, and it was challenging for sure. But we had tickets to the inauguration, then it got changed to being inside, which left our tickets meaning nothing.
nothing.
And we got up at 4:00 in the morning, like anybody else would that didn't have a ticket, and went in line and waited in the bitter cold. I think it was 13 degrees that morning, and waited for 5 hours or
5
so
hours.
outside. Yeah, that was interesting.
Pushing and shoving,
Pushing and shoving, and
staking our territory, staking
Yeah.
our ground.
it was interesting. And then we had military guys yelling at us to leave our bags behind, saying, leave them. And then we move. And if you couldn't empty it fast enough and put it in your pockets, they were going, move aside. And I was like, oh my
Like,
gosh.
I lost my place in line.
It was so intense.
It was.
Yeah. So that was kind of interesting. But, and then some people had really nice handbags.
Some sort of threat.
What?
That's why they clearly had some sort of threat. That's why
Oh.
they moved it in.
Oh, no
Because-
doubt.
And no purses.
They-
I mean, and when they said the night before, you could bring the little stadium bag
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, no. And then they made you, and then some of the people had, designer bags on. I saw this little Asian girl had on like a little Gucci bag, and she had to leave that behind. Somebody else had a really nice backpack. Now, backpack, I'm like, okay, you should know better.
Right.
But some of these little handbags people were leaving behind, and they were all in a big pile. I don't even know what
I have
happened
no
to
idea.
them afterwards, but you couldn't retrieve them afterwards. They were gone. So thank goodness we just had little fanny packs on and not our good bags. And then 22,000 people. So 220,000 were supposed to see him in person, and only 22,000 people fit inside the stadium. And they funneled us all into one entrance, and then we had to exit out of one exit as well. So that was chaos.
Yeah, it was it was dangerous. is
It
what
was
that
yeah,
was.
it was
Yeah.
definitely against fire code. I mean, that was crazy. I'm surprised like people didn't get trampled, honestly.
Yeah, it was. That was. I didn't like that part.
No,
That was the worst part.
no, that was a bad part.
But it was worth it.
It was worth it.
It was worth it. It was
Yeah.
the best of time and the worst of time
And
because
we
that
got to
was,
see him up close.
But it
I
was
mean,
great once we got in.
He was right in front of us once we got inside.
Yeah.
We were nice and warm, and they had concession stands open. You had to wait a long time, but you got concessions, food, and drinks. And then Elon Musk came on and spoke right in front of us. And no, he was not giving the Heil Hitler salute. He's just on the spectrum. He's awkward, and he was saying, my heart goes out to you, and
Yeah.
that was all that was.
Well, I saw a compilation on Twitter of like 17 politicians on both sides doing something that resembled that. So
For sure. Even Elizabeth Warren, and AOC, and
all of them.
yeah, tons of them.
And none of them meant it like that. So
No.
No, it's just silly. I think people are just so sick of hearing stuff like that too. And then same with like the fact that they're trying to impeach Trump again. I'm just like, oh my gosh, give it up. Stop.
Are they?
Yeah.
For what?
I don't even know.
I just saw
I
a
don't
headline
even
for
know.
that, and I
hate
didn't
to
even
say I
get
don't
into
even
it.
know,
I'm
but
so tired of it.
I just kind of tuned it out.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it's for this time, but I did laugh at, like a couple things. His executive orders, he signed some of those on stage in front of us in Capitol One Arena, which I thought was totally cool. And then he, I thought his speech was brilliant. his inauguration speech. It was so fearless and in your face, which is so Trump.
I liked when he said he was renaming Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America, and Hillary Clinton couldn't help herself and busted out laughing.
I know.
Because she couldn't believe that she was sitting through this shit twice.
I know. All their faces behind
I couldn't believe she was in there too. It was like, get away, get off.
God. Also, did you guys hear the rumor that the Obamas are divorcing?
I did hear that.
I've heard that.
And, kind of makes sense because like she wasn't at Jimmy Carter's funeral. She wasn't at the inauguration. Then he posted that horrible, hideous picture of her for her birthday. And I'm like, oh my gosh, take it down.
And on social media, they're all like, oh, it's my husband too for that.
Oh my gosh. But then there's also rumor that he's having an affair with Jennifer Aniston. Yeah. Did you hear that?
Yeah,
I've heard that.
I have heard that. And there's like some blind items about that on the internet. And then there's some about a like sports reporter, younger Black girl. I can't remember her name though.
It's funny because my brother was having coffee with us the other morning, Mike, and he was sitting there with my parents. And he said, why would any woman have an affair with him? And I go, a powerful man.
Ex-president,
two-time president, charismatic, multi-millionaire, billionaire. I don't know what he is now, if he's a billionaire or not. But I'm like, are you kidding me? And then my mom and I were just looking at him like, huh?
He's also not ugly.
No, that's what we said too. My mom goes, and he's a pretty good-looking guy. And I was like, I mean, I don't know. I just thought that was funny. He's got money. He's got power. He's got fame. He's got looks. I'm like, okay, I get it. Yeah. So.
Well, and I think I told you this, Mom, on the phone a couple weeks ago. I said that like Obama walked in the inauguration. And I'm like, that man has an aura. It's like Trump's got it and he's got it and Reagan got it.
Yeah.
But neither the Bushes do. Clinton didn't. And Biden definitely didn't. But like Obama walks in a room and it's like you feel it.
But that's also like how megastars are, celebrities, where you go, like even when we saw Billy Joel was phenomenal in concert, no doubt. We saw him at Madison Square Garden a couple years ago. One of my favorite artists, and that was on my bucket list. And it was so cool to be there with you guys and with Dad. And we loved it. And I love all his songs. But when Bruce Springsteen, who I'm not a fan of very much, came out on stage, there was a different elevation in the audience reaction, in the charisma on the stage, in the stardom that came out, and you could just feel it. It was just, and that's, to me, that's like the difference between what you're talking about, certain presidents or certain politicians, and then somebody that walks in and just has the room.
It's the it factor that it's hard to.
Yeah. So, I did like that he renamed the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America. And DeSantis was the first one to use it in a press conference. And he used it seamlessly, like it was always the name, which I loved. He didn't try to over-explain it.
Changed it.
What's that?
Google Maps just changed it.
Oh, I know. That's amazing. Yeah. So she can laugh all she wants, Hillary Clinton, but, it's happening.
Well, it did sound hilarious. It sounded like an SNL skit.
Yeah. It did. When he said that, it was just like, what? We just looked at each other.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, really, is that your priority too? You know what I mean? Like, I love that he kind of like mixes them up with different things.
Yeah.
He said it with the same level of authority as he said something like super important about national security.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that that's true of him, though. I think he does value those things almost at the same level.
Paper straws. Did you see that?
I did see that.
Hey.
Oh, that I missed that. What was that?
Executive order
and paper straws
changing. Paper straws back to plastic in the government.
I love that so much.
He's talking about it, and he's going, and they're terrible. Sometimes they don't even work. They explode. Sometimes they only work for 5 seconds.
And everyone's like, yeah.
You guys, nobody likes paper straws.
He does.
He's right. He's right. Michaeline gave me this present one year for Christmas, and it was my own steel straws in a case. And I'm looking at it going, what is this?
Steel.
Yeah, it was steel straws. And I guess you carry them with you, like to travel
portable,
with and stuff, portable straws and I guess it's
so
like,
LA.
That's what I was going to say. It's so LA. because Texas people are like, what the hell?
Okay.
I'll just get my plastic straws.
They have straws for me at the restaurant.
Right.
That's what the text.
No, the worst one are the noodle straws that like kind of taste like pasta as you're drinking. And it's like, ooh.
They have those by the beach, Pam, because they're
really
biodegradable.
But it's like,
obviously
they give you a long pasta noodle and then your Sprite starts tasting like or water.
Spaghetti. I don't even get it.
It tastes like raw spaghetti after a while. And you're like, ooh. And it gets like, you know how pasta gets kind of slimy? It gets kind of slimy. And I'm like, oh no. So I'd rather do without.
Terrible.
So what do you think of some of his nominees have made it through, obviously. You saw Marco Rubio. I like Marco Rubio. I think he's brilliant. So I'm excited about that one.
He's already doing a great job.
Yeah. I think he's amazing. You know,
because I mean, if you look at the Colombia thing and Mexico and Canada, and now people were shitting on Trump for the Greenland thing, for saying he wanted to buy Greenland, but now Denmark has like upped its security like 300%, like its water security, which is what he wanted.
Yeah,
I'm like, he didn't want to buy Greenland. He wanted Denmark to protect it from Russian force.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of the stuff he does and says sounds crazy, but he definitely has a plan. Like he's not going into it just willy-nilly saying stuff. There's motives for each thing. I like Pam Bondi. I like Pete Hegseth. I know he had a hard time getting approved, but I like him. Kristi Noem, Homeland Security. I guess that's a good pick. And then Scott Bessent for Secretary of Treasury. And what I liked about him was the fact that he's openly gay. And like so many people criticize Trump, saying that he's homophobe and that he doesn't, support any gay agenda. And this guy came out openly in public and thanked Trump and said he's been overlooked several times because of his lifestyle choices, and that he was so impressed with Trump and then happy that Trump chose him because he was the best person for the job. And I did send that story. Yeah. I sent that story to my friend who's gay that always criticizes Trump and says that Trump is against gays. I'm like, Trump does not care, honestly, who you're with. I mean, that's my personal opinion.
Clip of him from the 80s saying it's not my thing, but whoever wants to do that, that's up to them.
Yeah. I mean, you're an adult, keep it private, whatever. Anyway.
He didn't even say that. He just said he didn't want to do it.
No, I'm just saying me. I would say, I don't care. I don't want people going out there with their sexuality, whether they're, straight, gay, whatever. I mean, just like I don't think sexuality should be promoted or educated with kids. I think that kids need to be kids, and that'll come later with different choices as they grow up and become adults and make their own way. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he hasn't been approved yet, but I think he's going to be good at Health and Human Services.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't really have a strong opinion on Kennedy. I didn't watch his hearing, so I don't really know. I know that the Democrats hate him, like they hate Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah. And it's like they hate him more because he defected. And that's the same with Tulsi Gabbard. And I'm like, you always said the Democrats lead their young, and they will. Oh, for sure.
I think that what appalled me most about it, not just the Democrats being against him, but one of his family members, a couple family members came out against him being nominated, but one of them made fun of his voice. And I'm like,
crazy.
That's actually imitated him. And I go, oh my gosh, that's in such poor taste. That I was disgusted by that. But
there's a difference too between I think there's a valid criticism in the fact that the president has a role that requires public speaking, and it requires somebody that's strong at that. And that's a obstacle for him to that office, but that has nothing to do with his competency to be the health secretary.
Right.
Yeah. I think that also the fact that he does have that condition, that medical issue that caused his voice to be the way it is, was one of his downfalls for going higher in politics,
I think they'll both get through. I think Kennedy will get through, and I think Tulsi will get through.
I think they will too. I think they will too. What about DOGE? What do you think about some of the things that they've uncovered?
What? Give me an example.
Okay, so So at USA Aid, and this is actually on the White House, which I think is hilarious what they put on, changed over now and put on the White House website. But it has at USA Aid, waste and abuse runs deep. And then it lists several things. And one of them was like how much money they've spent on different things. $2.5 million for electric vehicles in Vietnam.
God.
$1.5 million to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion in Serbia's workplaces. $70,000 in a production of a DEI musical in Ireland.
For anything for anybody in the UK.
No, what'd you say?
Why are we paying for anything for anybody in the UK?
Well, I know. And same with
Not
all
even
these.
a developing country.
No. Some of this is so weird. And it's obviously just, I think it's just buckets of BS. I think it's obviously spent on something else. Because $2 million for sex changes and LGBT activism in Guatemala.
What? Yeah.
$32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru.
$32,000 is like a cent for the government. That's nothing.
$6 million. $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt. I just don't understand.
They have the pyramids. They don't need our money to fund tourism.
Oh my gosh.
I did hear that they were paying for condoms in Gaza, which I did find hilarious.
I did hear that as well. And I've read that wasn't exactly true, but then I've also heard that they used the condoms to fill up with explosive material and float across the river.
Okay. That whole thing is probably bullshit, but I saw that on TikTok, so it wasn't like I read it from the New York Times.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know if I believe that one, but then that one's not listed on the website, the White House website. What's that?
It would be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think so. But yeah, there were some crazy ones. They get, I don't know. It just millions of dollars. It seems like wasted on things that just don't make any sense at all. So anyway, I just thought that was funny. But hey, more power to Elon Musk. He's their new target from the left. Obviously, even AOC calling him an idiot last week. I thought that was really funny because I'm like, okay,
the pot. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's
gonna call him an idiot.
Yeah. She said he's just not smart. And I'm like, okay, he's one of the most brilliant minds of our time, but okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can say a lot of things about Elon Musk, but not smart is not
one of them. And then who was it that Sunny?
Did you see what Trump said about deporting Prince Harry? Somebody asked him if he would deport Prince Harry, and he said, no, I think he's got enough problems with his wife.
Oh my gosh. True. Fair.
That's so funny.
That's funny.
That is funny. That's so funny.
Oh.
They also asked him if he was going to visit the crash site in DC.
Yeah.
And he looked and he goes, the water?
I know. Oh, I did hear that one. I thought that was funny. And there again, very, very Trumpism kind of response. And he's right,
he usually gets right down to it.
Right.
He's being more so like that around though, for sure.
Oh, definitely. He's just much more at ease and much more. He's just gonna.
He hit the ground running for sure,
yeah.
And he's been planning this for a couple years for sure. All the things that he could do and would do, and when he would do it, and he probably figured, he didn't want anything to disrupt it. And even Melania, she said, hey, the first time I got in the White House, nobody helped me. They were supposed to give me a list and a guide and help me through some of this. And they didn't do anything for me. So I got it handled this time because I know what to do. And she's like, I already have my furniture in place. I got my draperies picked out. And then, of course, you saw her unbelievable outfit at the inauguration, plus her official portrait, which was in a tuxedo outfit.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Oh, my gosh. She looks like all business, no play. Like you guys screwed me over the first time. I'm here again, and I'm gonna get down to work. So I liked it. I like her attitude. So
I've never seen a bad outfit.
No.
Oh, you haven't seen the tuxedo outfit? What'd you say?
I've never seen her in a bad outfit.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Fabulous taste. Still won't be featured on Vogue's cover, but whatever. So let's go from that. If we're talking about Vogue and fashion, let's talk about spring weddings because we only have a few minutes left. And there's an upcoming Troop wedding, another Troop wedding.
Yet another, the last one.
The last one.
Troop
well, you
wedding.
hope it's the last one.
Well,
But
no one listen to that remark, please.
yeah. So Presley's best friend and Pam's daughter, Tori, and my second daughter, she's getting married April 4th? 5th.
53 days.
Oh my gosh. She has the little counter.
I have my little
that
calendar.
That would make me a nervous wreck with the counter.
It does. It just makes me scream every time. Every time.
But okay, so talk about the fashion of a wedding, because I know back when I was younger, you could wear anything you wanted to a wedding, but when people dressed for a wedding before, you dressed wedding-ish. And now it's like you can't wear white, you can't wear cream, you can't wear anything too lacy, like looking, too bridal. So what's the etiquette for that?
What's the young etiquette, Presley? And what do you, as a wedding guest?
You definitely can't wear white. And you can't wear cream or any ivory, anything that's close to white. Some people say that you can't wear black. Some people say you can't wear red. Some people say you can't wear a color that when photographed looks white.
Oh my God.
So we're narrowing it down just a tad.
What do you wear?
Wow.
But like, what can you wear?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've never ever seen anything that says you can't wear black. The people that say you can't wear red are like, that means you slept with the groom. I'm like, okay, this is a big.
That's disgusting.
Oh
no, I've never heard that, but that's weird.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Yeah,
I never heard that.
No.
And people are like, black's too depressing for a wedding. And I'm like, half my clothes are black. So I don't know. I personally won't care because I know if somebody wears white, it won't be as fabulous as the white dress I'm going to have on. So I won't care. But I know some people care. So
I wouldn't care because I would be like, the focus is going to be on me anyway.
Right.
So
it's irrelevant.
I'm the center of attention. I'm going to have the best outfit on in the room. Everyone's going to know I'm the bride and not the random woman in the casual white dress.
Well, like
exactly.
when Tim got married, I wore this real fitted, cream colored, kind of real lightly ribbed gown from Neiman's.
I remember, yes.
And it was cream and had some stones on it. But it was really pretty, and it didn't, I don't think it took away from the bride at all.
No, I never even once thought of that. No.
Yeah. So.
No.
Not at all.
I think I had white on for Drew's wedding.
Yeah, I
think I had.
Did you? I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I mean, no.
But I know that's changed. So I did look up the
I definitely think it's a newer thing.
Yeah.
Where people get, and people are like really aggressive about it online. Like they're like saying that they would dump wine on people that have white on.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. On one of their guests?
Well, like friends of the bride. I saw that too, where like, say Presley, maid of honor, she would go over to this guest and dump wine on her because she wore something white to Tori's wedding.
That's
and
so
she
rude.
would be,
I can't even go there.
I've seen Tori's dress. Nobody else's dress is going to even compare to it. So why would that even happen?
Wow. That's too aggressive for me.
No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Also, that's way too like showing you care.
Well, that's true. Yeah. You're right.
That much.
Who cares?
So I did look up like do's and don'ts of weddings today, and don't says yes, don't wear white or cream, don't arrive late, don't drink excessively, which I like that one.
That's a good one.
Don't ask for special meal accommodations while you're at the reception, which some people, I guess, track people down and try to ask them for certain things or whatever.
I've seen that before. Yes,
it says if you have a food allergy, you can make a small note on your RSVP when you send it in case they can accommodate it, but don't count on it.
How about just eating before?
And then that's what it says. Don't count on it. So, do what you have to do, basically.
Exactly.
And then
I have one to add on that list.
What?
Because I went to a wedding where there was a little kid that was a cousin of the groom, and she was attached to him like Velcro, and she's in all of his pictures with all of his friends and she danced with him the entire time that there was dancing at the wedding. And the kid was probably 6, and the parent was right there. And I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Another example of that, which getting back to the inauguration for a second, was JD Vance's kids. During the Capital One Arena thing where Trump was standing right in the forefront, obviously. And JD Vance is next to him, but the kids kept running and getting in front of Trump and hanging on the wall.
And Melania. They were
hanging on this wall and that wall. And their legs are up in the, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And Pam and I kept saying, wouldn't you as the parent go, oh
Millennial
no.
parents don't do that.
And finally they had like some housekeeper or maid or nanny take the kids away because but it took them forever to do that. They were very disruptive.
They were running around for a while.
They were running around.
I mean, they were small children, so it's expected.
Yeah, but no. A couple, I thought they were old enough to know better, though.
Well,
they weren't
one
like
of them
little,
was probably. Yes, one of them.
Millennial parents can't say no to their children.
Absolutely.
Which Pam knows better than anyone else.
That's so true, though. And they think that everybody loves their kids as much as they do, which is funny to me because nobody loves your kids and your dogs like you do.
That's true.
I
agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but I mean, we all have that age group of kid that has children that we know, and that's a very common theme. They don't tell them no.
All right, Pam, we have to wrap up in a second, but I want to hear your, I guess, like best wedding etiquette piece that people don't know but should know if they're planning a wedding.
Wow. That's a challenge. I say that depending on the mother of the groom or the bride, if they've been in this situation before, then let them they need to lean on each other and help each other out. Like you need to tell them, you have to guide them and say, oh, remember you're not kind of supposed to do this and maybe wait until this before you buy this. And you just lean on each other and don't let the one who doesn't, just lean on each other and take advice from them. Take advice from them. And also, no matter how much you spend or don't spend, the couple will be married at the end of the night.
That's so true.
And they'll be happy and they're gonna, And so it's hard not to remember. It's hard. You forget that when you start tallying it all up, like, well, they're still going to be married if we don't have that little frou-frou,
So mine would be
thing.
to like, remember that it's about their special day. And I did that when I was getting married. I was very focused on, I'm going to have fun. This is my day and my husband's day. And like, we just were very relaxed and calm because of that. We weren't trying to please everybody because you can't please everybody.
Right. There's
no way to please everybody. And especially if you're having a huge wedding and you have big families, there's going to be somebody that's miffed about something, somebody that has hurt feelings about something. That's just the way it is.
Right.
And I would say just make sure and just remind yourself it's my special day or it's my child's special day and let it,
It's about the couple. It's about the couple.
It is.
It's about, and all wedding ceremonies are beautiful, no matter what level or how much you spend on. They're all beautiful. So
yeah, it's all good. I think that's it. Do you have anything else, P? No. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for joining us today. Thanks, Pam Troop, for coming in as
you are welcome.
Special guest. And you can find the Baker Take on different podcast platforms, including Apple and Spotify, and a number of other ones. So tune in and like us, share us, whatever, subscribe. That would be good. And we'll catch you next time. This has been the Baker Take.